Hey, welcome back to Cheaper Jeeper. I'm Dino, your host, and we hope you enjoy our Oh, we seem to have a call here. Hey, Cheaper Jeeper here.
Oh, I'm glad I got through. This is Jay.
Well, I'm glad too, Jay. How can I help you?
I'm thinking of buying a Jeep Wrangler.
Oh, that's great. I love mine. What model are you getting?
The 4-door Sahara Unlimited.
You going to buy new or used?
I don't know.
Okay then, well, do you know if you want a Jeep Wrangler JL or a Wrangler JK?
I'm not sure. They're both roadworthy and very capable off-road SUVs, but what's the difference?
Hey, welcome back to Cheaper Jeeper TV, where we help you get the most for your money so you can get the most for your Jeep. Now, getting back to Jay's question. Let's first understand for initial comparison, the JK and the JL are best to be compared in the 2018 model year since both were manufactured in 2018. To compare the 2018 JK to subsequent model years of the JL would mean we'd have to take into account annual price increases and negation of them and other upgrades to the design when trying to make a fair comparison. So let's start with the MSRP. In April of 2018, the stock JK Sahara, for example, had an MSRP of 44,115 Canadian dollars. In 2018, the stock JL Sahara had an MSRP of 50,352 Canadian dollars. So at face value, the 2018 JK is less expensive than the 2018 JL by about $6,237. That's a significant price differential for one to conclude that the JK is a better value. Well, hang on now. $6,237 does seem like a decent price differential to conclude that buying the JK is a better value. However, it's prudent to consider some other differences beyond the MSRP that exists between the JK and the JL. Important to note, for example, is that some standard features are on the JL that are not standard on the JK. Let's look at a list with some estimated costs associated with them. For example, the gas cap cover, the firm grab bar handles, the doorstop detents, grille inserts, and the touchscreen head unit with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So if one were to upgrade the 2018 JK to include aftermarket items to match the standard items of the 2018 JL, the price differential would drop to about 5,408 Canadian. So at this point, it's not clear that with the previously mentioned price differential that we were wrong in our initial impression, because 5,408 Canadian dollars is still a big savings. However, beyond the list of the standard items, the JL comes with some additional upgrades in design that the JK is lacking as well. One of the upgrades is hood flutter control. The JL has a vent in the fender and metal hood latches to keep the hood from fluttering, a common problem on the JK, exacerbated by the fact that they use rubber hood latches which deteriorate in time. The aftermarket has metal hood latches for the JK to address this issue. The rear seat tilt is another upgrade in the JL, making the rear seat more comfortable. There are rear seat tilt kits to address this matter on the JK as well. The extended rain gutter is another upgrade to the JL, where the JK, the rain gutter only goes to the rear door. The issue with this is if you wish to put a roof rack on the Jeep to carry a canoe or any cargo, you are limited by the length of the rain gutter. On the JK, they do have aftermarket artificial rain gutters to install to address this matter. The JL for the Sahara and Rubicon come standard with heavy-duty brakes. This is great for improved brake performance, but if you add heavier, larger tires or other gear to your Jeep, you won't have to upgrade your brakes. On the JK, they do have aftermarket heavy-duty brakes to be installed. Another upgrade is the higher fender flares, especially found on the Rubicon, where it will manage larger tires, whereas for the JK, you would have to put aftermarket upgrades for that. Even though the JK lacks these upgrades in design, these items can be addressed through aftermarket purchases for the JK, as seen in this table. However, if the JK seemed like a better value due to the $6,237 savings in MSRP, one could possibly argue that after paying to have some of the standard features and the upgrades in design of the JL, there really isn't a significant savings to be had in the purchase of the JK model over the JL. If one wanted to equalize the JK with the same standard features as mentioned and the same upgrades as we've mentioned so far, the price differential will be more like $3,500. So deciding if the JK Wrangler is a better value becomes less obvious, especially taking into account that not all aspects of the JL design have been addressed in this limited scope of analysis. For example, the JL has new styling inside and out, a new 8-speed automatic transmission with available select track, aluminum doors and tailgate, and because of these and other drivetrain and design improvements, improved fuel economy, improved visibility. This is accomplished by larger windows all the way around, including the rear window opening, lowering of the rear tire, and lowering the rear windshield wiper to be located at the tire, therefore away from obstructing any view. And that's just to name a few. Well, there are many other features and improvements of the JL that could be discussed here, but that would make this already too long video even longer. But there are a lot of positive reviews about the JL. There's the record sales of the JL, and of course the resale potential of the JL over the JK. All of this makes the price differential suddenly not so significant. So Jay, are you still there?
Sure am. Thanks for the great answer, Cheaper Jeeper.
Okay, well, you can see that there's many factors that you have to take into consideration when deciding to get a Jeep Wrangler, whether it's the JK or the JL. You have to consider the MSRP, the standard features, and other upgrades and design improvements when trying to decide to get a JK over a JL. Either way, after you educate yourself on the particulars, the goal is try to get what you want and what you can afford. Both the JK and JL are Jeep Wranglers. So as such, you will be getting an iconic, capable, on-road daily driver with incredible off-road capabilities. So hey, be sure to include some comments below, maybe of some of the items that we didn't include in our analysis. Be aware this video is not sponsored by Jeep or anyone in any way for that matter. It's just my opinion. Look down in the description section of the video below where I've included a couple of other extra links to some more detailed and technical articles dealing with the differences between the Wrangler JK and JL. If you'd like to upgrade your JK to some of the options discussed in this video and see the actual cost, I've included Amazon affiliate links in the description section below this video. Now for some cheaper Jeeper tips. You know, doing a simple oil change or tire rotation are some ways that you could save some money on your Jeep. So why don't people do that? Well, for some of us, it might be lack of experience or confidence, and for some of us, maybe we think that it requires a lot of tools. Well, let's take a look at that. Do we really need a lot of tools to start saving money? Okay, so there's going to be about 3 steps that are involved in an oil change. The first step is to remove the engine oil filler cap. And that's it. That's step 1. Step 2, you use a 24mm socket and a wrench with an extension, and you come down and take the lid off of the filter housing and remove the old filter. There will be an O-ring around the housing that you would use a pick to remove. Now step number 3 is taking a 13mm ratchet and taking out the drain bolt and then letting the oil drain into the oil pan. And then you just do it all in reverse. After the oil's drained out, you put the 13mm bolt back into the drain pan. When you come back for step 2 and you've removed the old filter and you put on the new O-ring and drop the new filter in, you just put the lid back on using that same tool. And then finally, back to step number 1, we'll add our 5 quarts of 0W20 oil, put the lid back on, and then check the dipstick to make sure the oil's topped up. And that's it. Those were all the tools we needed. So, Get these tools, watch the odd oil change DIY video or two, and you're set to start saving money by doing that. Plus, you'll get the pride of looking after your own Jeep. For tire rotation, you don't really have to get any tools for that, as the Jeep comes with a jack and a lug nut wrench already, but it's highly recommended with the large tires that come with the Jeep Wrangler that you do rotate them regularly to help them wear evenly, avoid cupping, and last longer. So since some recommend tire rotation with each oil change, I'd recommend the following tools to help make the process go a lot smoother and quicker. Okay, here's all the tools you need if you're interested in doing your own tire rotations. You need a 22 mil socket to fit over the lug nuts. You need a breaker bar to loosen the lug nuts. And before you use that jack to lift the Jeep, make sure you have some wheel chocks to put on the tires so that the Jeep doesn't move on you. If you don't want those, use a brick. And then once you remove the tire and rotate the tire according to the schedule, you could tighten up the lug nuts, but I recommend that you use a torque wrench for that so that you put them on to the appropriate spec. But that's it for all the tools you need if you wanted to just do your own tire rotations as well. But now, I hope you see that if the barrier to start saving money from doing these maintenance tasks yourself was the thought that you needed a lot of expensive tools, well, now you can see that you really don't. So if the barrier is lack of confidence in having the ability to do these tasks, we'll come back for a later episode with DIY tire rotation and oil change videos with our amateur tips. I have to admit, after buying my Jeep Wrangler, I started doing these jobs myself, so I realized firsthand the money savings and the pride that comes with looking after your own Jeep. Links to any of the above mentioned tools are in the description section below the video to help you if you just wanted to order them. And don't forget, we'll be providing some further support in some DIY videos coming up soon. Clicking on the subscribe button, then the bell icon next to subscribe will send you an alert when those videos come out.
And now for subscribers' tips.
Hey, here's a subscriber tip related to oil changes, as a matter of fact.
Hey, Jeeper TV, can you share with your audience some insight on oil drain valves? I have one and find it very convenient, and I thought others might like to know about these things. Phil Doyle.
Hey Phil, I'd be glad to cover that. I actually have that product on my Jeep. And like you said, it really helps the oil change process along when you're doing the oil changes yourself. So what you see that I have here is the easy drain valve. Now the easy drain valve just works with a little lever that you just flip and the oil just drains out. You don't need the tools at all. The oil just drains out and you don't get your hands dirty. And then when it's done, you just come and flip that lever back again, and this part of the job is over and you didn't have to use any tools whatsoever. I happen to have the cap that goes on it. Let me just remove it, and so you just flip that valve. Now if you're going off-road and you wanted a little bit extra security, there are little clamps that you can put on that'll make it so that the valve doesn't come off. No pan is required with the easy drain, and no mess. Just drain right into an empty jug, and very, very easy. The Fumoto 106 is very similar in design to the easy drain, but it used to be more expensive. Another model is the Valvomax 14-1.5 and the Stahlbus M14x1.5 and the Femco M14 1.5. I recommend that you look these over on Amazon and go through the reviews and decide which model might work for you, but I have the Easy Drain 106 and have found it to be very handy. Feel free to subscribe to our channel, like, share with any friends you think that also might be interested, and by all means share some of your money saving tips with our Cheaper TV community. Here at Cheaper TV, we're helping you get the most from your money so that you can get the most for your Jeep. See you soon. We hope you enjoyed the views of this episode of the town of Guelph. And a shout out to the Tri-City Jeep Club in that area.